שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לילה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לילה לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. יאללה לילה 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 לילה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לילה 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 לילה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאללה לילה 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 לילה. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה 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 מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה 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 מה טוב ומה נעים, שבתי אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. So good to be with my brothers, so good to be with my sisters, so good to be with everyone, so good to be with my temple Aliyah. Hine matov u'bana'im, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'bana'im, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. So nice to see you all. Wow, it's great. Those of you who are on Zoom with us and those of you who are on live streaming as well. Just a Shabbat shalom. Nice to see you all. Rasmussens look like you're having a nice time there together. I like to see family time. It's always great. And always love when to see you there, whether you're with somebody by your side or alone or canine, who's ever with you. It's always a pleasure to be able to join our unique minyan here. And just we're looking forward to sharing. So we follow in those of you who have the Lev Shalem prayer book, you'll be able to follow along. And I'll announce the pages. Any prayer book you can find these prayers. That's a great thing. But we're going to begin. In fact, Chaz, I think you're going to share something with us.
Yes,
Shiru Ladonai, correct? You have something to share with us?
Yeah. Just it's actually a song that our choir would be doing if we were in the synagogue for our Shabbat of young people, okay? Let me make it a little higher. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, Shiru Ladonai shir chadash. One more time. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz, song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God and we'll all sing along. All the earth a new song unto God. Here we go. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash. Just you guys. Here we go. Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai shir hadash.
Beautiful. I love that, Shir Adonai. Right? Sing unto God always, right? The blessings and all that we have. Just I want you to take a moment to appreciate the blessings you have, right? At a moment in which people are still succumbing to the COVID-19, even the sense of hope of those who are getting vaccinations, whatever it is, just think about whatever blessings you have in your life. Think about them just for a moment. Hold on to those blessings, because sometimes they are hard to find, but as long as we bring them to heart, they become part of our lives all the time. L'chado D, you're going to find page 23. We're going to do the first stanza together. Then we will go to the final stanza. You can get up and open a door if you have one handy and welcome in the Shabbat bride. You're going to find Shir L'Adonai, page 23.
It's a l'chado D. Yeah, l'chado D. And last week we did this melody because we did klezmer, and it was so much. I begged the rabbi to let me do it again. No, I think everyone really enjoyed it. By Mir Mr. Shane, l'chado D, l'chado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, l'chado D, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, ishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, L'shem u'tiferet v'litila lecha, Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela, lecha Adodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה ובסהולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת וקבלה, יבלה בני ברכה דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת
If you're standing up, you can remain standing. If you're not standing up, you can stand up if you like, because we're about to turn to the Baruch Hu, the official call to prayer, page 39a. Chaz.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach המבורך, המבורך, לעולם ועד. המבורך, המבורך, לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם ועד. Let's sing lai lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai, ya lai 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 lai.
You may be seated if you like, or you can keep standing and dancing. Those of you who are enjoying it so much. Some of you out there on Zoom look like you're having a great time. On page 40, we'll find Ki Hem Chayenu.
Ki Hem Chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla. Ki Hem Chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla. Ki Hem Chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla. Ki Hem Chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla. Ki Hem Chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla. Ki Hem Chayenu ve'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמי. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל.
The Shema, the watchword of the Jewish people, the idea of oneness, not only about God with life itself as well. There are different understandings of how to interpret and how to translate that Shema. Hear, Lord, our God, the Lord is one, or that the Lord is oneness, right? Representing the fact that God holds together all of us into a uniform, if you will, wholeness and oneness. Speaking this week and teaching about philosophy, we're talking about God. Some of you out there were actually in my Parshat HaShavua, the portion of the week class, and we talked about Martin Buber and the I-thou relationship. And the Shema is that moment where we're supposed to have the most intimate of connections, and with that I, that immediacy and intimacy. So as we recite those first 6 words, I invite you to close your eyes just for those first 6 words of the Shema, to hold on to each word and to feel the oneness with life, with the words, with the prayers of the Shema as we join together.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. ואתה את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ונתתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך דרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Continue silently. ויאמר אדוני אל משה למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem, Emet.
Micha Mocha, words we sang last week, actually, as part of our Torah reading, as the Israelites passed through the Sea of Reeds, a great celebration, a great sense of awe, of power, of life and salvation. Who is like unto you, O God? And Haz Micha Mocha, which you'll find page 44, everyone.
And we use the melody, well, it was Miriam's song, but it was written by Debbie Friedman of blessed memory. And we remember that this is her 10th year. It's amazing. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהי בו, נורא תהי בו ספלם. אותך ראו בלכת כים לפני משה, זה אלי אנו ויאמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם עולם. לי ונאמר יפדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך ברוך אדוני גאל ישראל. Rabbi, you're muted. You're muted.
Return, thank you. That wasn't you doing it, that was me. Thank you. So many buttons I've got to be cognizant of here. Anyway, what I was saying was that the Hashkivenu prayer, the idea of God having above us a sukkah of shalom, a sukkah of protection, and we have a beautiful melody. Haz, who is, this is Kenny Chazen? What is this?
Jason, yeah, the rabbi and a couple of other men who were part of a group called Matovu, and they put this together. And my son taught me this, so it's something that we can learn from each other, especially our children. What a joy! Let me get it up here so you can see it. Oh, good! It's not the one with all the chords and the scratching. Good. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shelecha. Ufros aleinu sukat shelomecha. Amen. Let's do that one more time. Let's try it again. Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. V'hamidenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Uvros aleinu sukat shelomecha. Uvros aleinu sukat shelomecha. Amen. Shelter us beneath your wings, O Adonai. Guard from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us daily wrong from right, oh Adonai. Amen.
Just beautiful, Hazan. Thank you for sharing. That is such a beautiful melody. I didn't realize that Rabbi Chazen had composed that one. The Shamru speaks about covenants, about brit and oath and sign and relationships. That's what Shabbat is. Right? When you plug into Shabbat, it's a sign about creation, the beauty of life. It is a sign of the covenant of us and values and ideas that are beyond us, and something that the day is supposed to be transformed into. That's what Shabbat is about. On that day, we hold on to the sanctity of life, and hopefully the rabbis believe that we could take that out into the world after Shabbat and bring that holiness of Shabbat into the world itself. And so Vishamru Chazan is going to lead us, and you're going to find it if you're using the Siddur on page 46.
V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Hashabbat la'asot et Hashabbat לדורותם בריתותיו. איי איי ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני והשמיים והארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפל. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפל. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת וביום השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We continue with the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבם מבורך, לעלם לעלמי עולמיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר בתרומה ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו, לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תאמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
What's so nice is seeing those of you on Zoom in your homes, to see how you relax. And by the way, those of you who stand up during the Chatzi Kaddish when no one else does, that you still stand up at home to do that. I love it. Be able to see you and Clarissa, you and everybody who's out there, to be able to celebrate, and Jessica having celebrated a family bat mitzvah last week. And it's so nice to see you and people back. I want you to feel that community in these days when we don't feel a sense of holy community. I want you to have that feeling that you're not alone, that we're still bound together, even this virtual space, and that we share life together. And in moments like the Amidah, we come together as one. And so at home, whether you're standing, sitting, whatever you choose to do, traditionally, the Amidah is a standing prayer. So traditionally it is, but you're gonna decide what you're gonna do. It's recited silently. Chazan Stein's gonna help us begin with Adonai Tzvatai Tiftach, Ufi Gid Tilatecha. The words are supposed to open our hearts, right? That our lips should be able to proclaim what we're thinking, what we're feeling, because it's so hard to do that. And then we'll go in silently. Chazan Stein will provide some meditational music as background. But the hope is that you really feel a sense of connection to each other, to life, to the holiness of life, the holiness of God. And Chazan Adonai Tzvatai.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Tzvatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Tzvatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha Ve'Alchol Yoshvei Tevel. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha Ve'Alchol Yoshvei Tevel. Shalom Rab, Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Ki ata hu melech adon lecha hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lecha hashalom. Shalom Rab, Yisrael amcha v'hakol Yoshvei Tevel. Shalom Rab, Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. V'tov b'einecha libarech et amcha Yisrael b'chal eit u'b'chal sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rab, Yisrael amcha v'hakol Yoshvei Tevel. Shalom Rab, Yisrael amcha tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam. Tasim le'olam.
That was so great.
I'm having so much fun.
You have way too much fun, but that's why we love you. It's so good. Oh my God. And those of you who are just watching by live stream, by the way, it's sometimes Hazan Stein will giggle a little bit other times because you can see us in the background on Zoom, just having a good time and enjoying our prayer experience together. The Torah, by the way, some of you know that for example, in the 10 Commandments, the only relationship it mentions is that you shall honor your father and mother. Kabet adicha betimecha. And much has been taught about why doesn't it say you have to love your mother and father? By the way, why doesn't it command love? It does command love in terms of three things: God, right, your neighbor, and the stranger. But it doesn't command you to love your parents because it recognizes, right? I'm looking out there at one family, right? It recognizes that that somehow that relationships with parents are right. They have their moments of ups and downs in life. And it's not about necessarily the emotions, but about the respect that you show them, right, Clarissa? The respect that you show parents. That's what it's all about. And so we talk about parents in the 10 Commandments. But by the way, do you ever think about, like, what are the models of in-laws? What about a parent-in-law? What does the Torah teach us about that? Isn't that interesting? Like, there's all kinds of jokes, right, about in-laws. And if you look at the example, many people think about one of the greatest examples is about Jacob and Lavan. Right? Jacob, who goes up and with his uncle and becomes his father-in-law. And what has happened every time he cheats him? Right? He's cheating him 7 years of labor for Rachel, 7 years of labor for Leah, 7 more years to work in terms of, and he's always tricking him. In the end, what is he trying to do? He's trying to keep his daughters and family there, and everything he can do to undermine Jacob is what he does. That's often the model we think of in terms of an in-law, whether it be a father-in-law, whether it be a mother-in-law. But there's another model that you may not know about from the Torah and from this portion, and it's actually about Moses and his father-in-law, Yitro. And I don't know if you've thought about that model. Those of you who know the story of Yitro being the father-in-law of Moses, remember, Moses leaves Egypt. He's run away originally when he saw that the taskmaster beating the Israelite, and he kills the taskmaster. He runs away. And then he eventually meets Moshe, Zipporah, the daughter. And then he comes back to Egypt in order to take the Israelites out. But I don't know if you've ever wondered, whatever happened to Zipporah and the sons? Right? The story that we read in the Exodus doesn't mention anything about them. Well, in this week's portion, we find out what happened to them, because it begins with these words. Yitro, the priest of Midian, Moses' father-in-law, heard all that God had done for Moses and for Israel, his people, how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. So Yitro, father-in-law of Moses, took Zipporah, Moses' wife, after she had been sent home, and her two sons, whom one was named Gershom and the other was Eliezer. And he brought them out to Moses to meet them. And that's something. And apparently Zipporah and the sons were with Yitro. And it's only when the Israelites left that Yitro now reunites the family. Isn't that a wonderful image of what in-laws are supposed to do? Supposed to bring family together rather than separating them, to try and create a sense of love and extended family. And how does it then translate? Because then the story tells us the text, and this is the very beginning of our portion. By the way, did you notice when I read the story how it emphasized that Yitro is the father-in-law of Moses? Wouldn't have to say it over and over and over to maybe teach us about that relationship and what it can mean. And then the text says, Moses went out to meet his father-in-law. He bowed low, kissed him, each asked after the other's welfare, and they went into the tent. And the rabbis always think about the words of the text. They know that the Torah doesn't use superfluous words and chooses words with great exactness. And what does it mean that he went out to that Moses went out to Yitro? He showed him respect. Just like he would have shown respect to a parent, he shows respect to his father-in-law. He goes out to meet him and he kisses him. And there's a sense of wholeness. I think it's just a wonderful model that we have here of how families can work. And those of you who have parents-in-law or who are parents-in-law, we all know the challenges of those relationships and the important roles that we can play in family unity. And I love the message this week of our parashah. In the meantime, we're going to turn to Kiddush at this time. And we've called upon actually a congregant, Bob Efsine, who's going to lead us in Kiddush. So those of you who would like to rise or stand, if you have a Kiddush cup there and you'd like to have your own wine, maybe you had it as part of dinner as well, you're welcome to join us. And you're going to find, those of you who wish to, find it on page 76 as Bob's going to lead us. Go ahead, Bob.
Baruch atah Adonai Elohim Peri Hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemahaseh bereshit Ki hu yom techila lemigrae kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim Ki vanu vacharta v'otanu kidashta mikol hamim V'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava uv'ratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
Yasher Koach, Bob. Pleasure to have you lead us in Kiddush. We're going to continue now with Aleinu. I ask you to rise if you're not standing at this moment. Page 56.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם בגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומולכים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, אמרו אלוהינו אמת מלכנו וסולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבותה לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד, אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
At this moment of memorial, we're going to remember the lives of those who have gone before us, those who have shared so much during their lives that they still inspire us each and every day. On this Shabbat, we remember the yortzites of William Berenson, Esther Gable, Eva Gitterman, Janet Gottlieb, Mary Lasky, Morris Meisman, Rita Morris, Robert Ostrowski, Eleanor Shine, Albert Shippo, Ze'ev Siu Batanu, Robert Fenton, Irene Horn, Robert Kodish, Max Senk, Minnie Weil, Alice Barnett, Seymour Gaines, Irving Geyer, Cornelia Herman, Esther Lewick, Philip Malovitz, Jack Sokol, Francis Weiss, John Clark, Stephen Dock, Pauline Kaufman, Harry Minkoff, Maria Rebin, Harry Shapiro, Mo Sharf, Tom Sherrick, Allison Warshaw, Joseph Elbaum, Warren Kaufman, David Krantz, Henry Lorch, Jack Norwich, Helen Vomberg, Lillian Bulavsky, Theodore Flesser, Lydia Glazer, Sadie Hoffman, Norman Reisman, Kamran Shakiban, Betsy Silver, Gary Starkman, Tilly Varnon, Aaron Visselman, Francis Braverman, Bertha Gelfond, Clara Halpern, Ron Lee, Yoav Pantalat, and Evelyn Rubin. For those of you who are reciting Morris Kaddish here on Zoom, you're invited to unmute your screens, and that way we can hear you all as we slowly, right? It just takes a little bit of practice to do this together, but feel comfortable. In fact, I'm spotlighted, so you actually won't even show up on the screen. All we would hear is your voice. So if you'd like to, feel free to unmute yourselves. Those of us reciting the Kaddish, join together. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah. Amen. Be'alma dibrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uvyomechon, uvchaye, v'chol beit Yisrael, bagala, uvizman, kariv, yimeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olei umaya. Yiparach, Yishtabach, Yipa'ar, Yishomam, V'Yinaseh, V'Yadar, V'Yaleh, V'Yhalal, Shemei, V'Kudeshah, V'Richu, Le'ela, V'Kol, Birchata, V'Shirata, Tushbechata, V'Nechamata, V'Amiran, V'Alma, V'Meru, Amen, Yehi, Shlama, Rabba, Shemaya, V'Chayim, Aleinu, V'Al Yisrael, V'Meru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael meru. Amen. May God establish His peace in heaven, grant peace, harmony for us, fellow Israel, and all as we say, Amen. All right. Feel free, if you will, please, to remute yourselves. It'll help us in terms of the sound of our Zoom broadcast. And I'm going to share with you some announcements of things coming up. First of all, we hope that you all enjoyed our service, whether those of you on Zoom and those of you who were on live streaming. Next week, we have Shabbat services again at 7 o'clock. By the way, in a couple of weeks, it's not on here yet, we're going to have a wonderful Friday night joint service with Congregation B'nai Israel in Tustin, with Cantor Amy Robinson and Rabbi Eli Spitz. And so we're going to combine our clergy and our service, and it's going to be lovely. So look for it. Those of you who are Friday nighters, it's going to be a wonderful, different kind of melodies and music, and we look forward to sharing that with you. In the meantime, next Shabbat morning, by the way, well, tomorrow, please, you'll join us for 10:30. We have our Shabbat service. It's going to be a lovely service. Next week, we're having, first time we've done this, a pulpit exchange with Shomer Torah Synagogue. And so they're going to be having their service, a Zamru. It's a musical service. It's supposed to be very beautiful. I'm looking forward to see it. And then I will be speaking there, teaching towards the end of their service. And that's how they run the service. It's at 10 o'clock in the morning till 11:30. 11:30, I'm going to do some teaching. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to be hosting them. It'll be our service, and Rabbi Karamis will be speaking at our service. An opportunity for each of us to get to know our community. We hope you'll come in. Purim, by the way, just 3 weeks away. Join us February 25th for what we're calling Purim 2021, a very 2020 Purim. All right. You should have received emails about sending stimulus packages, what might call otherwise Mishloach Manot, right? Our very 2020 name for Mishloach Manot. Please participate. It's a great fundraiser for the synagogue, a nice way of sharing with the congregation. There's going to be special things in there, even to participate for the Purim Spiel and other things. So we hope that you'll participate in this. Please check our website for all the fun events that we have coming up. We have Scholar Stream. We have celebrity chefs that are cooking. We have all kinds of things happening, so you can find us. And we're always here. Even if we're not in the synagogue, just send us an email and we'll be there. We'll call you. We'll come back to you very quickly, just at the templealiyah.org. And we're here. We promise you that. Kaz, what do you got for us in terms of concluding our service? What would you like to do, my friend?
Well, it says Shabbat Shalom, but I mean, if we want to do that, or we can do an Adon Olam. What do you think?
It's your call, my friend. You are the Chazan.
Okay. So, as every other Chazan is wont to do, I'll be playing the banjo for the final song. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra, Li'et Nasa. בחפצו כה אזי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא ועת נשא בחפצו כה אזי מלך שמו נקרא והוא אחד ואין שני עם שילה מחבירה בלי שיפולי תכלי, ולא העוז והמשורה. אדון עולם, try it. אשר מנה בטרם כל יציר נברא, יתנסה בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא. Let's go to the last verse. בידו אגיד רוחי, ותישן ואירה, ואם לפי גבייתי, אדוני לי ולא אירה. אדון עולם אשר מלך בטרם כל יציר נברא, והתנסה בחפצו כל, אזי מלך שמו נקרא. Shabbat shalom, y'all.
I want to wish you all a very special